All right, there you are. So, hey, this is Daryl from the Indie Week office
Cam Carpenter from Indie Week.
and Riff. You can see our banner in the background there. So this is a new thing that we're trying every Thursday at around 6 o'clock, 6:30. We're going to settle on a time, but this is new, so it's our first time doing it. We're going to do, it's called Indie Weekly. Every week we're going to talk about what we're doing and with our festivals, our bookings and programmings, helping indie artists, and what's going on around town. So,
Or across the country.
yeah, exactly. So I guess to start, we should talk about all of our festivals and events that we're working on, eh?
Sure.
Yeah?
You just said A. I'm Canadian.
I know. I'm going to get caught a lot. Whatever. It's kind of like the old days, live. You can't erase and
Exactly.
no copy and paste here. So, there's Cat. So anyways, a couple of things that were first coming up is Indie Week. It's a festival for independent artists. We've got one in Canada, in Toronto, and the UK in Manchester. The Manchester one is in October, while Toronto is in November. For artists that are interested in performing, it's a sign-up process. Go to indieweek.com and you'll be able to go to any of the websites. That's the easiest place to go. The deadlines for applications is Europe is June 30th, so that's the one that's coming up really soon. So if you're interested in playing in Manchester at Indie Week, June 30th is the deadline. Canada is August 11th. And Cam,
And not just musicians. There's a film festival in Canada especially as well, which you can see behind us, which is a real indie film fest.
right.
So we're open for film submissions as well. Not just musicians.
Right, and the deadline for film is August 31st. We're looking for music-themed films that are documentaries, features, shorts, and also music videos.
Music videos, yeah, we play one pretty well before every screening. So
Yeah, exactly. And we've had some really cool people on board with Riff. We've had John Densmore of The Doors help launch the whole festival.
we had the Smalls last year,
Smalls,
who debuted their film about their reunion, and
which I'm a huge fan, of course.
yeah, being Edmonton boy.
Yeah. And also we had Jason Hook Jason Hook from Five Finger Death Punch. And the film was?
We had the excerpts from Hired Guns, which is about all the great musicians who you don't necessarily know play on albums who are hired just as studio musicians. We had premiere of the movie, bits of the movie,
Right.
and it played at South by this year, and it looks like we're going to have it at the Real Indie Film Fest this year, where we're moving to Jackman Hall at the AGO as well, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
As our new base.
I can hardly wait to really announce what we're working on with Riff. It's definitely our biggest and best yet as far as the film. It's our going to be our 4th year, which is pretty crazy. So
And our programmer Christopher Cherry's got something cool coming up as well with a little competition that we'll be announcing soon.
yeah, probably next week we'll go full on. Right?
You can't say that live, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Now you're committed.
All right. Well, no problem. Okay, so and then on top of the film and the music side of things, for Indie Week Canada, we also always do an Alberta showcase, and this is something that's really important to me because I grew up in Edmonton. There's a lot of great artists in Alberta that tend to not make it out this way, and unfortunately Toronto is considered the music industry capital of Canada, and it's really important that these artists do get recognized and get seen by industry and have chances. So we've got this event called the Road to Indie Week, and it's in Alberta. It is showcasing Alberta bands in Alberta and selecting an artist to be a headliner here in Toronto, and we give them $1,000. Go to road2.indieweek.com for info, and the deadline to apply for that is July 4th. And then as well, just so you know, the runners-up also get invited to showcase in Toronto. Our Alberta showcase has been at the Underground Garage the last couple of years, and it's been sold out pretty much every time. So it's definitely worth artists coming over and playing in Toronto.
And of course, if you win Indie Week Canada, you get a chance to go to Manchester as well. So you could come from Lethbridge to Toronto to Manchester
That's right.
just by being in a cool band.
Well,
Or a cool solo acoustic artist. It's not necessarily a band.
exactly. And in fact, a band that wasn't in the Road to Challenge, but they did come to Toronto, they did win, is Stone Iris. So we actually took them to Manchester last year, which was awesome. And for them to come to Alberta, to Toronto, to Manchester, like what a great experience.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do our best to promote the artists on both sides, because on the flip side, the artist in Manchester that's voted as the best act, we bring them to Toronto. And last year was?
Victoria and Jean
Right.
from Belgium, who've ended up signing, a record deal with great Canadian distribution through our friends at Cadence Music, and their album's coming out, has just come out.
That's
Actually,
right.
April 29th, I guess. It's brilliant. And it looks like they might be touring Canada later this summer as well, or
Right.
early fall.
And in fact, I just saw them post today, they're in an ad in Exclaim, the new issue that just came out. So
Cool.
good
Great band.
shout out to our friends at Victoria and Jean. If you haven't seen them, do check them out. Their videos are like
There's
amazing.
there's a video for every song on the album, or there will be. And actually, we started the Riff Festival last year with a short film by them that was 10 minutes long. That's from their album. It's art on every different level: music, performance, and film. They're brilliant.
And seriously, watching them live is an experience. Like their performance at the Mod Club finals last year was just amazing, and that's what got them signed, I'd say.
Yeah, because they didn't see the Rivoli show, which was equally as amazing, and even not more intense, just a different intensity that was just crazy.
Right.
We also like our sponsors too. That's why we're just having a beverage here.
Yeah, Cam's the beer guy. I believe that's Mill Street, 100th Meridian. And, well, me, I'm a Jack Daniels guy, Jack and Coke.
Although I could be a Jack guy too. You know that.
Of course. All right, so we've talked about our music festivals. We've talked about our film festival. The other component that we need to mention is Indie 101, which is a conference that has panels. It has demo listening, mentorships, business-to-business meetings, and it's really, the focus is to educate indie artists. There's a lot of panels out there that kind of talk above artist level, or I think it's kind of regurgitated a lot of the times. So what we try to do is provide content that actually helps artists get to the next level and educate them.
Yeah, like what's the difference between an agent and a promoter?
Right.
Why can't we book our own gigs? Why do we need a promoter? Why do we need... Why has the camera gone off? Do I have to register with SOCAN? What's publishing? We try to, we're taking it right to the grassroots, right down to the ABCs of music. So
Right, and we also try to make sure that we have really good quality speakers. We've had Mike Klink, who produced Guns N' Roses, Nigel Grange, who's signed Sinead O'Connor, Thin Lizzy,
Boomtown Rats.
Boomtown Rats, and currently he's working on.
He's working on this. He's one of the historians on the series Vinyl on HBO.
Right.
And actually, if you go to HMV or whoever's selling DVDs anymore, Vinyl just came out this week as well. So you can get the whole series and you can binge watch.
Right, and I guess we have to do a shout out to Mike Joyce, good friend of ours.
Yes.
Last year, Mike Joyce was our keynote, and he's the drummer of legendary UK act The Smiths.
But he also drummed. I got to know Mike when he was drummer for Sinead O'Connor, who I used to work with Andy Rourke. And he also drummed in the Buzzcocks and Public Image Limited. And every band that had a cranky lead singer, Mike was the drummer at some point.
Right. But it was a great it was great to be able to host Mike Joyce here. He was a gentleman. He was generous with his time. He made sure he talked to people that recognized him, and
We found him a Man
You know?
City pub so he could watch his footy as well. So better a City fan than a United fan.
Nice. So yeah, so Indie 101, you can check that out, indie101.com. We're still working on all our speakers, but all that info is going to be probably going up in the next 2 months as far as what's happening in Manchester and in Canada. So I'd say the next thing to just talk about is every week some of the things that we do to help out indie artists. We do a thing at a place called Lou Dogs in Toronto, and it's hosting acoustic acts, giving artists a place to grow, to build an audience, to woodshed songs.
To meet producers, to meet other songwriters.
Yeah.
It's become a sort of an industry hangout on Thursday nights at the corner of Church and Gerrard.
76 Gerrard Street East.
Yeah, right
That's
beside the old Edge, which only old timers will remember the old Edge when the two Garys used to book it, which was one of the greatest punk new wave clubs this city has ever seen.
And what was that called?
The Edge.
Yeah. I'm thinking the radio station, of
No,
course.
the radio station was called CFNY back then. And the Edge was the Edge.
Right.
It used to be Edgerton's, and they changed it to the Edge.
And it's right on that corner.
Right on that corner. The place that Joy Division was going to play their first Toronto show ever. But
Wow.
unfortunately,
Did not.
could not. Yes.
And yeah, the place is a great vibe. It's called Lou Dogs, 76 Gerrard Street East. Also, some of the best barbecue in town. I always have the ribs. And drinks are pretty cheap, too.
Yeah, there's like a $5 special every week, like Jameson or Jack, or get a PBR, which is Pabst Blue Ribbon. Oh, PB&J,
Right.
which I love. Pabst and Jaeger for $7.50.
Nice.
Now the price will go up.
And tonight we've got Logan Brown.
Yeah.
Logan is somebody that we discovered a while back. He's like 19 years old, an amazing